Well, Bears minicamp is over. There's some winners. There's some losers who stood out to us. I got all the experts to talk about that tonight on Bears on Tracks 5 for Chicago, the Chicago Sports Podcast, and it's coming up next.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Welcome to Bears on Tracks 5 for Chicago, brought to you by the Chicago Sports Podcast. Thank you so much for watching tonight. And I'm Matt Cooper. We're talking about Bears minicamp. It is over with this week. There's a lot of news. We got winners, we got losers, and I got just the right people, just the right crew, some of the biggest Bears fans you can think of to talk about that. So thank you guys for watching. You can like and subscribe on our YouTube page, YouTube channel, and share this video with your other Bears friends. Got a couple of new friends coming in tonight for the first time. First off, we got Adam, just talking to him a little bit here before the show. Adam, welcome in, man. It's good to have you on here.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate being part of this, and I'm ready to get to work.
I see that's a Caleb. Is it a Caleb? What jersey you wearing right there?
Caleb Williams.
I'm see the number.
Yeah, it's Caleb Williams.
Okay, it's 18. I couldn't tell if it was.
I bought it for my son, and it was an extra large, and he didn't fit in it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take it. If it's me good, I'm gonna wear it.
Dude, that's a good problem to have, man. It looks good.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So we got Adam in here. We also have that dude D3V in here tonight. What's up, man? Thanks for coming on tonight.
What's up, man? How are you? Yeah, you guys can call me that dude, Dev. Super excited to be a part of the team tonight, man. Super excited.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you on here. So thank you for coming on. Like your hat too. I was just saying he's got a great jersey. The hat looks cool too.
Appreciate it. Yeah, the wife got me this one. It's a solid pick.
And that's why you're wearing it tonight, right? See what happens? He just said the wife got him the hat. Just like that, huh? All right. And then, of course, my buddy Chris Light Dreams Brown, who is out with us every Friday. And it's always good to see my buddy Chris and a diehard Bears fan. Chris, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. You know, just taking life day by day. School's out, so just chilling with the kids, and now we get to talk football. I'm gonna be here for it every time.
I like that. I like how you do that. Living day by day, man. That's positivity, man. Always positive. Always bringing positivity to the show, Chris. So we're always good to see you on here tonight. We're talking about Bears mini camp. We're talking about how it just ended. We're talking about some of the winners and losers. And I guess it depends who you read, guys, on what they're bringing up. And there's a couple of names. I got a list of names on here that I would like to go over with you guys tonight. And of course, if there's anybody that I'm missing, you guys can certainly chime in and bring that up, or anybody in the chat tonight would love to hear your opinions as well. So we start thinking about some of the winners, and we were talking about this before the show started today. We think the first thing is Ozzy Trapilo, left tackle that we took, and just how impressive he's been so far. I mean, pressed all across the board with all the coach. Seems like with all, especially the offensive coaching staff, he's a smart player with great movement, big dude, and it could be a very good possibility he could be there for the starting left tackle job. So I'm just going to go around the room, and Adam, I am going to start right with you. Start right off with our new guys on the show tonight. So Adam, when we start talking about Ozzy, what's your overall assessment? Anything that stands out to you? What comes to mind, man?
He's already in the camps. He's already showing that he's ready to take that starting spot. He seems like he's been there for years already. How tough he is, how physical he is, how quick he is on his feet. I think that he takes that left tackle spot off of the other two that we have.
That dude, he brings up some good points, man. He kind of does feel like, I know we're in mini camp, and I know we don't have all the pads on, but when you start watching, it's impressive to see his movement. And kind of to what Adam said, I mean, it could be a possibility that he could be there as a starting left tackle.
Yeah, I have every belief that Ozzy will start. Being that I saw a lot of Braxton last year, I just I don't see any reason to believe that they would give the nod to Braxton. He's a young guy. He's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of charisma. And I just expect him to really show out once they do get an opportunity to pop one another when they throw the pads on.
I think we're all looking forward to the pads too. It's so funny because I've been reading like a lot of different reports, not only from Bears but like other training camps, and you see like all the rookies like shining and everything. And then I think it was Mary Kay Cabot who covers the Browns saying, "Hold on, guys, not the pads aren't on you just yet."
Yeah.
So, but it's still fun to talk about, especially when you have a rookie class like this that we're all excited for. And Chris, we've talked a lot about this on our shows here the last couple of weeks. I mean, we've done a lot of mock drafts. I know you're a big fan of Ozzy too. And for me, what's very impressive about him is his movement so far.
Yeah, because what I've seen is when you looked at, for example, like his Boston College film, one thing you've seen is he's great with body positioning and footwork. He'd always seem to wall off defenders. He can hold his ground. It's all about his foot placement, plus basically his body placement and his technique. And so I believe when he came out, he was more polished than what a lot of people had him down as. And obviously, we could see based off of what's being said as of right now.
I think it's very interesting that we're already talking the possibility of starting left tackle. And I think that's still a long way to go. And we're going to dive into this a little bit later because we do have the losers part. Just going to give you guys a little bit of a tease. There might have something to do with the left tackle spot. But I think it's pretty cool that we're sitting here on this show already talking about the possibility of that. And I just saw in the chat too, guys. And yeah, it was Cliff. I'll put this right back up. And he says, if Ozzy becomes left tackle, this draft was an A+. I think any time that you have that opportunity of having a tackle, especially a left tackle, which is one of the hardest positions to replace, and he can come in and already be a starter, I think that's already a win. So it's going to be very interesting to see, but it's been cool to see all the different analysts out there talking about it and seeing where this guy can go from there. So that's our first winner of Bears minicamp so far. Ruben Hyppolite is the other one, the linebacker. And now I find this one interesting because when our draft came out, there was a lot of talk about him and a lot of saying, hey, why did we take this guy? There was a lot of I felt like there was more negativity, and I didn't understand why. And I had to watch a little bit more about him and read up a little bit more about him. But it looks like he is really impressing. Ben Johnson called him the most impressive player of the camp so far
I've seen that.
as a linebacker. That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty high praise already from your head coach. So Adam, your overall opinion so far when you look at our rookie linebacker.
So he's what 5'11", 230 pounds. So he's not the biggest, and I know that there was talk about maybe possibly moving him to safety spot, which I don't think is the best decision. I think you put him in with Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. I think that them three together, they will feed off each other, and I think they will take over that whole linebacker core.
That's a very good point there. And Chris, when we start thinking about our linebacker core, I know there was a lot of talk in going into this season that could be one of our weaker spots. Maybe we don't have all the depth there. You see all the different opinions, but boy, if he's already making some impressions there, this could be a certain guy that we can plug and play. I'm not exactly sure where his position's going to be or where it's going to be at the start of the season, but it's already a good sign that he's already impressing coaches, especially a brand new head coach like the way he has.
When you look at Dennis Allen defense, is usually just more like two backers on the field, and you have like a safety as a slot or something similar to that. But with him, when he was drafted from Maryland, the one thing that kept that shined bright with me was about he has a lot of speed. And so when you play in certain defenses, especially with Dennis Allen, he likes to attack. So he like guys who's fast, rangy, and I believe that's part of the reason as to why he's shining so bright in camp right now. And it's showing. It's showing like the talent that he really has. Once again, we're seeing guys that are shining right now. And it's showing how well we were able to scout some of these players, because we're talking about a second round pick and we're talking about a fourth rounder right now.
And I think that's a good point, because we talked about this last week, Chris, when you're talking about the draft, I don't think this was last Sunday. I was on with Trax actually, and we brought up something. And I'm like, listen, when you start taking the first 4 rounds of the draft, you want some of these players, especially up to 4th round, man, you want some of these players to hit and show right away. And to your point, and that's a very good sign so far to help out with our linebacker core. That dude, where do you think his spot will be on this team as we go into the season? Is there something that stood out to you when it comes to him, or is there something that you're looking for?
Nah, Chris is 100% right. The versatility that he carries is huge, because you can then he becomes a weapon in blitzing packages. He becomes a weapon in coverage. he becomes a weapon in the run game. So he checks all the boxes that Denny Allen would be looking for. And then if you've been around Bears football, you know we love ourselves a good linebacker. We find a way to always produce them. So I look forward to it. I think dude was a stud. It was crazy to me that he didn't go until the 4th round. I think his size, unfortunately, has something to do with that. But I think he's going to ball out. I think he's going to show you, just like N'Kobe Dean, that these short kings came to play. So
What do we say? 5'11",
Yeah.
230.
230, I think it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, not big.
230 is.
I met Tremaine Edmonds, and
So-
he was, I don't know, he looked like he was probably about 6'10". He was a pretty tall dude. And I'm like, oh yeah, and then you go from 6'3", that's a pretty big drop, or 5'11", sorry, not 6'3", 5'11", that's kind of short.
Yeah.
But us,
Yeah,
us
when you look
under
at his
6
big-
feet guys can play
massive.
ball too.
Hey, hey, that's what I said. Hey, the short kings, boy. The short kings been balling.
Dude, he's gonna be a
Yeah.
baller, man. And that's what it's like. So, and Adam, as we talk about that, what does this do for our linebacker core? Because when you look at it, Edwards had a great year last year. Edmonds, I think, was okay at times. There were times that I think he
Yeah.
struggled a little bit. What do you think this does for our
I think if you
core?
put him under the wing of them two, I think that they will be a pretty strong trio, and I don't think that there is any other linebackers that the three of them can make a difference of. Like them three together, if you put him under the right wing, I think they will be probably the most dominant 3 linebackers in the league.
That dude, what do you think, man? That's been pretty high praise, man. Some of the highest dominant linebackers in the league.
Yeah, so me and Adam actually talked about this earlier. I love, like I said it again, I'll say the same thing, his versatility, his ability to be a plug and play guy. And then if they decide to run a 4-3, if they decide to run a 3-4, he seems like he's got the speed, the talent, and most importantly, the intelligence to get to where he needs to be to always make a play. So I think, again, yeah, you put him in there with Tremaine, perennial all-star, put him in there with TJ, perennial all-star. I mean, dude's got a bright future ahead of him.
I like that bright future, Chris. Bright future ahead of him with all of our other linebacker core and this defense under Dennis Allen. He gets you excited, doesn't it?
Yes, it actually does. And when you look at the talent he has and the potential that we're actually seeing that he could be a 5'11" version of a certain linebacker that's in New Orleans right now, because they have typically the same build, just not the height. So I do like his versatility. I like the fact that he's rangy, sideline to sideline type of player, see ball, get ball. But at the same time, you're seeing that his shining in camp is being able to digest information, read and react properly.
I see this. We thank you guys for watching tonight in the chat room too. We thank you guys so much. And I see one here from Cliff saying that I'm thinking Bears felt Jack Sanborn was at his ceiling, which allowed them to go ahead and make that draft pick. And we got another one here says, I read something earlier today that Aaron Rodgers flew into Pittsburgh and signed a 1-year deal. We get the Steelers sometime this season. Our defense has to be on all cylinders. I'm going to wait for that at the end of the show, guys. I feel like that's a big topic right now over the last day. I want to get your guys' opinions at the end of the show about that, about Aaron Rodgers in general, just because that guy was in our division for everything about Aaron Rodgers is crazy.
Let me say one thing before we move forward. The Bears have produced a 5'11" Hall of Fame linebacker before. And if anybody in the chat knows what I'm talking about, throw his name in the chat. But the Bears have done this before, so I believe in our boy.
And so we're going over the winners and losers here of minicamp this week. We see all you guys in the chat, man. Thank you guys so much for watching here tonight. You guys can like and subscribe on our YouTube page. Get all the notifications. We have different shows popping up all the time here on Bears on Tracks, 5 for Chicago, brought to you by Chicago Sports Podcast. Winners, we got a couple of down here. The other one that stood out to me, Dominique Robinson, which is an interesting name, our edge rusher, who last year was dealing with injuries. I know he was a healthy scratch. I believe he was a healthy scratch a couple of times. I know he had the injuries. And that's a name that's been brought up as a possible cut this year. It could be a possible cut. Now, I think to his benefit, he could probably be playing on special teams, and especially with the relationship that he might have with Hightower, that could probably save him as being on our team. But at the same time, he is opening up some eyes, and people throughout the camp have opened up some eyes with him. And you can see that from the coaching staff. So that's a very good sign for Dominique Robinson, Chris, a guy that I would love to see stay on the field, man, stay healthy and see what he can do.
Yeah, what I think is that because he actually adds depth to the defensive line of what we have already. So it's great also, but at the same time, say he could be seen as a player if he's able to produce and continue this elevation as far as like how his elevation of play. If he can continue that in the preseason, even into the season, he can even be not only just showing something for the coaching staffs of this team, but for other teams as well. So it works out because of the simple fact of just seeing how this offseason, we attacked the trenches, the defensive line, getting Grady Jarrett, getting another end from Indianapolis. It adds depth, but at the same time, it adds something that if you need another piece somewhere, you can look into trading or put him on the block for anything.
You bring up a good point, Chris. I guess I didn't really think about that. That the possibility of a trade. That dude, to Chris's point, do you think this is a guy that can make this team if he keeps impressing the way he is right now, or the way he has in minicamp or special teams, or could this be a possibility of him showcasing himself?
I think a lot of people forget what Dominique did in his rookie year, and I will be the first one to say that there was a lot of news that came out of that locker room that said that a lot of players had given up on the regime that was before us. I don't think Dominique Robinson was a problem. I think he was a silent protest. I think he played the way he played on purpose. I think a lot of people are going to realize that boy got a lot of speed. He got a lot of power. He got a lot of talent. Because I'm telling you, I saw flashes of him getting to quarterbacks, whether it may not always been a sack, but he had a ton of backfield tackles, and he had a ton of quarterback pressures that rookie year. And then we know what happened, right? Like, he got a little funny over there for a couple of years. Obviously, he did get hampered a little bit by some injuries, but I don't think there's when I started to hear that he was on the chopping block, I chuckled because I was like, ain't a shot that this boy doesn't show out, because he's got every intangible necessary to be a perennial all-star at the edge. So I think he's going to be just fine. I'm not even all this talk about, he'll make the squad because of special teams. He's going to make the squad because he's a very good ball player. So.
That's interesting. You bring some of that up for his rookie season as I'm going over it right now. He played in all 17 games that year. 19 solo tackles, 11 assisted tackles, 1.5 sacks. He also had 30 total tackles, 1 pass defended. So to your point, that's pretty impressive for a rookie season. And then to go from that to where it's at right now, Adam, to the possibility of the chopping block, the possibility of trying to make this team. Now, listen, this is a different coaching staff. I get it. I feel like anytime you bring a different coach, I know the same GM is still here, but anytime you bring a different coaching staff and that they're looking for their type of style of players and what they want on their team and what they want to kind of weed out a little bit. Would Dominique Robinson fit this mold and fit this type of team that Dennis Allen and his defense is looking for?
It's hard to tell. I don't know if I think that I would possibly trade him. I'm worried about this injury getting to his head a little bit. Because I think last year with his injuries and stuff, I think he only had maybe 3 QB hits, barely any I think that injury is going to set him back. And yeah, he might be shining right now without pads and stuff, but I think once they put the pads on, they do a little hitting, I think it's going to throw him back a little bit.
Yeah, I'm interested. I hope the guy stays healthy. And if it's not, this is one of those guys too that if he is not going to be on the Bears, he's somebody I will be cheering for, like a Jack Sanborn that left. I was a fan of
Hakeem Hicks
when he was here.
I loved
Hakeem
him.
Hicks.
Yep. And then they traded him, and I was like, that hurt. I loved watching him tear everybody up. It didn't matter, and he had fun. He was talking the whole time. He was making jokes, cracking them, it was hilarious to watch him play.
Yeah, I was a big fan of him too, man. There's always those players that we always think about that was on our team and then they got away, and then there's always a couple of players that you're going to cheer for because you love them so much. And for me, Jack Sanborn's one of them, and this guy would be another one. Roquan Smith. I loved him too, man. I said, be careful what you wish for.
Get rid of everybody else, but sign Roquan. And then next thing you know, I had his jersey. Next thing you know, boom, gone. I'm like, oh my goodness, it hurt.
See, for me, I think of DB. So for right now, I'm having a great time. I got Jalen Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We got Stevenson. But I always my first love is Peanut Tillman when it comes to the DB. You know what I'm saying? The Peanut Punch, man, please. Every time.
I always forget that he went to the Panthers too. Isn't that crazy? Like I always forget that he actually played there for a little bit before. And like that's something you just don't.
He was a part of that Super Bowl team, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. He was.
That's what I'm saying. Is like those are one of those players that you just don't think of that actually played for another team. Like it just blows your mind.
Well, it's like Jerry Rice. Nobody remembers Jerry Rice went to Seattle.
No. Or the Raiders.
Yeah, that's like you that. He was actually okay that Raiders year. That was the year they went to the Super Bowl too. I think he was definitely on the decline. He wasn't the same.
No.
Yeah. Jerry Rice though at that point. But when you go back and think about it. So we're talking about Dominique Robinson. We're talking about winners of Bears minicamp, which is all over with right now. It opened up some eyes, opened up some of our eyes. We're going over it. And I see you all in the chat. Thank you guys for watching here tonight. We got Cliff in here. We got Darius. Hey, we got Darius in here for the just chiming in for the first time. Darius, we love you, man. We love your shows here on Chicago Sports Podcast. We also got James in here and Cliff. So thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Like and subscribe on our YouTube page. And you get all the notifications of all of our shows. So I have another guy on this list, guys. Our running back, Kyle Monangai, which I feel like is going to be a name that you might be hearing a lot of because of the running back position. Listen, he's a 7th-round pick. Do we know what's going to happen with the 7th-round pick? No. 7th-round picks are either hit or miss. Like they're either going to be there, they're going to be on the practice squad, or you gave a shot at it and they're going to be gone. But with this guy, I feel like we got him a lot later. From what I've seen so far in his videos, now, this is just me. This is just my observation, and I want to get your guys' opinions, too. I'll go around the room. But there was a couple of videos when I watched him for the first time, and he just looked kind of slow. Like, he was just, like, getting started. But I was like, all right, I'm not going to put too much into that. He's just getting started here. Then I watched a video here, like, a couple of hours ago as I was getting ready for the show. He looked like a completely different player. He had a burst of speed in him. He looked like he had that explosiveness in him that you think you could see that the Bears are looking for in the running back room, because I've been kind of saying this all along that I don't want the Bears to go and get another running back. I don't want them to go out there and get Nick Chubb or any of these guys that are on the Heat right now. I like the guys that we have. I like Roschon Johnson. I think Roschon Johnson needs to get another chance behind a different offensive line, a better offensive line this year. I'm excited to see what Swift can do, and I'm excited to see what this kid can do, because the video that I watched, I want to see more videos like that going forward as we get ready here for the training camp coming up next month. So that dude, I'll start with you, man. When you look at his videos and you think of him as a potential running back, maybe running back 2 or 3, what are your thoughts on him?
All right, here we go, Trax. The clippable moment you've been looking for. You ready? I'm here to tell y'all, Kyle Monangai will be a Rookie of the Year finalist. Okay?
Timestamp that, 22:45, Rookie of the Year.
You heard it here first. Let me tell you why. Kyle Monangai is probably the most overshadowed every down back that was in this draft. Okay? Like, a lot of people want to give him not the same love because he came from a smaller.
Ooh.
You know what?
You got us excited here with Rookie of the Year, man, and
that's
he popped off.
Hey, them goosebumps, man.
They fanned him out.
I got him too, man. Like Rookie of the Year, I feel
they fanned him out because he said that. I think the total opposite of what he said.
Oh, okay. So total. Okay, so as we wait to get him back on, Adam, I'll just let you take the floor, man.
The first week he had all his coaches yelling at him, like, "Dude, you got to show something. You're just lazy out there." He wasn't showing anything. And then, you can show it now because there's no pads on. You're not hitting nothing. You're just running through cones. I can do that, and I'm big. I can do that, and I can look pretty explosive too. You can't give him that. After that first week of him just being lazy, I don't think that he's got that Rookie in the Year candidate. Sorry, Dev. I got to go against you.
So Dev, he was saying, he said the complete opposite of what you said. You said Rookie of the Year. He said that's not going to happen. He does not think he's going to happen at all.
Yeah, that's okay. I expect a lot of people to say that. That's fine. Here's what you need to know. Like I said, Kyle Monangai is going to be a Rookie of the Year candidate. He is one of the most complete bats in this draft, and I don't understand why he waited. Sometimes you get lost in the sauce of big names. And I'll leave it at that. You get lost in the sauce of big names. There's like 3 or 4 guys that I had rated higher than Kyle. And neither one of them came out of Ohio State. I'll tell you that right now. So just understand me. I don't think that we're going to see anything more than what we've seen from oh my goodness, why can't I think of his name?
Genty?
Nice. DeAndre Swift. Sorry.
Swift.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift is nice, but he's played on 2 Super Bowl caliber teams and has fallen short in both of their big games, right? He played for the Lions the year they made to the NFC Championship, fell short. Played for the Eagles, they went to the Super Bowl, fell short. The Eagles got Saquon, and we all know how that story ended, right? So, like, I think DeAndre Swift is cool. I think he probably brings a lot of intangibles. I just don't think he's an every down guy personally. But I think Kyle Monangai is going to continue to shine. He's going to put them pads on. He's going to find his vision. The speed of the game is going to slow down for him. I think he's going to be a serious problem, especially with this nice new offensive line that you guys mentioned. He's got very good hands. He obviously is extremely coachable, right? Like we've all talked about what he looked like originally versus what he looks like now. He's got everything he needs in the bag. So I think he's going to be right exactly where I said he's going to be.
You know, there's a couple things I do agree with you on. We're talking about DeAndre Swift. I like DeAndre Swift. I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm like a top 5, top 7 running back in the league. So last year, number 1 running back. I'm with you on that. I don't know if he is that. I mean, we're gonna find out this year because he does have the familiarity with Ben Johnson and maybe a second go around. Maybe this is it for him. I don't know the answer to that. But even watching him last year, I was like, man, I think maybe we're paying a little too much money for this guy. I don't know, but. With a different offensive line. And Chris, I'll let you chime in here as we talk about Monangai and the rookie of the year. I don't know the question for that, but I'm very high on. I'm high on him too. I'm high on this kid. I think this kid's got a lot of potential. What is something that you see that when you watch the videos of this kid that over the last couple of weeks, or is there something that stands out to you, or are you on the Adams side of it where you don't know, or you still have a lot of questions about him? Well, he's a 7th round pick, so I guess there is going to be some questions.
I'm kind of in the middle. I agree with part of what Adam was saying, like the mindset, the initial mindset. It can be deterring. Like it could steer you away from thinking this kid's gonna shine. But at the same time, when you look at this draft class, it was loaded with running backs. It was loaded with a lot of names that we've known from college football. So I think he was overshadowed by that. Honestly, I would have saw him as like a 4th rounder if there wasn't so many names in it. But when you look at it, he is a complete back. You know what I'm saying? He went through his college career without fumbling. So he's been well known to take care of the ball. He can catch, he can run. He's had his moments where like Rutgers had to rely on him to run the ball. And the thing about that is
let them know where it come from. What's the school name? Rutgers.
Rutgers. I know what it is. The Scarlet Knight.
That's all that mattered was that. If he played at any other school, this is a totally different conversation.
but his time at Rutgers, he's shown he could be very dependable when it comes to running the ball and taking care of it, which I think is key. He's a guy that can take care of the ball. So I'll put it this way. I won't say he's gonna be a candidate for rookie of the year, but I will say don't be surprised if he ends up being a 1B to a 1A type of run back combination.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I could see that too. So I'm gonna go around the room and ask you guys this, and as we're on the running back question right now. There's running backs out there. There's a couple of veteran running backs, and I've made it pretty clear on this show that I don't think they need to do that. I don't want them to go out there and get one of these guys, but I'll go around the room. So Adam, I'll start with you. As you look at some of those names out there like Chubb and Dobbins and some others, do you think they need to go out there and take a flyer on one of these guys? I already see you shaking your head.
No, they don't need to do that at all. They don't need to worry about any running back spots. I mean, I like Swift. Swift is quick. Look what he did without a line last year. He had to catch some passes and take off from screen pass and getting us 40 yards of play. And then you got Roschon. You didn't give him that opportunity. You're using him as like a 3rd and short, goal line kind of running back. I think you got to step him up a little bit more. Now that we got a line, give him that opportunity. And then I think Kyle, he's a little bowling ball. You put him on that 3rd and 2 and let him run straight up the middle, and he'll get it. He'll run right through him. So no running backs. We're good where we're at.
All right, that dude. I'll let you go ahead and chime in. You're about ready to chime in.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you need to bring anybody in the room. I like I like Eric Bieniemy. He obviously, we see everybody seen the clip. He don't give a hoot. He gonna let you know how he feel, and he gonna be tough about it. I think that's what they need. It's argued. I'd make the argument it's the toughest position in football. As far as like toughness and like grit, like because you're guaranteed to get hit 9 times out of 10 times. You know what I mean? But I disagree with you, Adam, because my man's DeAndre Swift literally played 2 years back to back with arguably the best offensive lines in football.
That's old news.
It matters.
We're
He ain't
moving
getting no
forward.
younger. That's all I'm saying. So, like, I think
Moving
that we've
forward.
seen what DeAndre Swift can do for a team. I don't think he's that guy. I agree. Roshan needs a shot, but I think he lacks the pop, like the open field pop. So I think that's why he won't really ever truly be an every down back. So then comes in Kyle. Kyle, the money guy.
Rookie
That's
of
what
the
I'm
year,
gonna call
Kyle.
him
Yeah,
all
rookie of
year.
the year, man.
Yeah, hey, Kyle, the money guy. That's what I mean. Look, I plan to be here for a little bit, so y'all will get used to it. Kyle, the money guy. Don't worry, it's okay.
All right, Chris, rookie. We're talking rookie of the year, our running back here, man. But when you look at the out there, the different running backs that are still out there, what do you think? I know we talked a little bit about this too. If you want to take a flyer on Chubb, and I know you're a pretty big fan of him. Would you take that flyer on one of these guys out there, or keep it as it is with the running backs that we have?
I would take a flyer only to just kick the tires and if the amount's worth it. See, part of the point was kind of just proven when he broke down DeAndre Swift and then he talked about Roshan Johnson. See, the thing about it is that a guy like J.K. Dobbins, yes, the man has had a terrible injury history. But when he's in the lineup, well, how has it been? He's shown the talent, delivers the pop, shows the footwork, breaks tackles, shows the break-in speed when he gets further downfield. So a guy like that, I would kick the tires on because it's just nagging injuries after his season-ending ones. So I mean, he's younger than Nick Chubb, so that's one guy I would be like, yeah, let's see, just because of the fact that he would have a style that would more like mirror something we would expect from a nun guy, just that he's a bit faster. So I would go with J.K. Dobbins. Nick Chubb, he's on the back end of 30, not back end of 30, back end of 20s, like almost 30. Knee injury history, and it's been gruesome. I wouldn't want to go through all that.
When we talk about Nick Chubb, and we said it here, the running back position in the NFL, that was one of the best running backs when he was really, really good. That was probably one of the 5 best running backs. I mean, at least that I've watched in the last 15 years. He was that good. And it just goes to show you what the running back position does, the toll it does on your body, because when you saw him play a little bit last year. Now, I'm interested to see if somebody picks him up and see if he can gain some of that back, but he clearly did not look like the same player when they brought him back last year. So that's another guy I'm cheering for because I thought he was so good when he was in his prime. Chris, you got something to say?
That is what I like to call when it comes to the ACL. It's like you got to give it that extra year, because we've seen it from multiple players outside of beasts like Adrian Peterson. When they have an ACL injury, you're watching that next year. It just looks like he doesn't trust that leg. We've seen it with Von Miller. We've seen it with OBJ. We've seen it now we've seen it now with Nick Chubb last year. So I mean, them leg injuries are kind of tricky because sometimes the thing is it's not the knee that's messed up anymore. It's the subconscious. You got to be able to trust your body, and definitely to play this sport at a high level.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, you're right on that, man. And you see that. You just gave great examples too. It sometimes does it in all sports, not just football, man. It gets some people can get in your head. And so I'm hoping, again, another guy I'll be cheering for, man. So I hope some team out there will pick him up and he gets another shot. I brought up all the winners, so I'm gonna go around that. So those are the winners that I have on the Bears mini camp this week. Dude, is there anybody that I missed, or did I get everything, or is there anybody in your mind that I missed that was a winner this week?
No, yeah, I mean, I think that really sums it up. I think the only guy that I would give an honorable mention to is Tyreek Stevenson, because I mean we're removed and he's still getting asked about the play that the whole country heard.
Yeah.
But I love the way that they went about it, and I love the fact that he's mature enough to be like, hey, that's on me, still owning it, accountable for it, and just also not allowing it to it's no BS. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's good. He's been out there. He's been a dog. He's showing up. He's showing out. So he's one that, because he's still young too. I think he's another future core piece to this defense. So, yeah, I would give an honorable mention to him for just, because he don't got to be there, but he's there and showing that he wants to be there, and so it's nice to see that attitude from that day truly didn't carry on.
I think, and that's a good call with him too, because I think that's all people are going to be asking about until they play that Washington game. And I think he struggled at times last year too. So I think this is actually a big year for him. I think this is a big year for him. Let's see how he fits in this defense. And unfortunately, when you lose on a Hail Mary like that and you're caught doing that's all people are going to ask you about. So, Adam, winners. I went over all the winners. Is there anybody else there or anything else that stood out to you that I maybe missed?
He's got my number, Jaquan. You got to give it to Brisker. After that injury he had last year with that hit, you would think, sometimes like that, you kind of get drained. And seeing him and them talking about how dominant he is, I'm ready to see him back healthy, ready to hit, ready to drop some people off, especially them Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, screw those Green Bay Packers. You know what? With Brisker, I'm a huge Brisker fan, and I think that's the heart and soul of our defense too. By the way, that's scary. Watching him talk about what happened and what he went through, I could not believe that. I mean, that was a lot. Listen, anytime you get a head injury, that's bad to begin with. But the way that he was explaining that, I just thought, I'm like, I don't know if maybe you guys thought this, but I just thought, is this guy like one hit? Like if this, the only thing that I thought about was like the negative. I'm trying not to think of the negativity, but I'm like, man, is this guy like one hit away? If he gets one more hit like that again, like that could really mess you up.
Was that Johnny Knox? I mean,
Yeah.
This was a neck.
Mike Brown, Johnny Knox.
Yeah. You think about that, like, man, that's one hit and you're done. Like, you can't play ever again. And he didn't let that bother him. He's like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to work hard and I'm going to come out and show up.
It's crazy though, because, Tua is still playing. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
I don't know how they allow him to play anymore. I don't know how medically you could let him play.
It's
hard to wrap my mind around it at this point.
Yeah.
It's guys, it's a difficult issue to talk about. It really is. It's a hard issue because, I mean, I'm glad that there's a big light on it right now. And you see, you bring up a good example with Tua. And then, I mean, with the way Brisker and just listening to him talk about how that is. So I don't know. It's very delicate for me to listen to players talk like that. If Brisker said tomorrow, guys, I'm never playing again and asked to retire, I would be like, man.
You can't be mad at him, no?
Stay healthy, man, and be healthy.
Look at Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He stepped away. He was great and he stepped away. So like, I got to take care of my body first.
Yeah.
And so Chris, we were talking about if I missed anything about our winners in minicamp this week. Is there anything else that you could think of? Is there anything else that I missed?
Right now, the one that stands out to me a lot more is Stevens, just because of the fact that he's shown the talent. It's just that the maturity, that was the one thing everybody was worried about. And I think sometimes the biggest improvements don't have to always be on the grass in between the lines. It's sometimes just your mental and how you approach the game. And I think that that's pretty big, especially in the secondary.
And it's gonna. And listen to this. And same thing. The big year for the defense, but defense was terrible last year. And you can
hold on. You can't say that. They finished.
I said say terrible. They weren't great last year.
All right, fair.
Okay, they weren't great. I shouldn't say terrible because there were times they were good. You're right. In the beginning of the year, they were actually really good. And I think a lot of it, when you lose coaches and your defensive play caller leaves and stuff like that, I think that's going to leave a big hole, and it did. I think it did. I think it showed. But I think this is a big year for the defense, and I'm excited to see what Dennis Allen can do, and that's why it's fun to talk about some of these winners, and we're talking about some of the secondary because guys like Brisker coming back, guy like Stevenson that we want to see a little bit more improvement from. I mean, this is big years for them. So it's going to be exciting to watch, and we're going to have a lot of time to talk about that. Winners and losers of Bears Vidicamp. Thank you guys all for watching. I see Dobbsy 34 in there. James, you got Cheryl giving us updates. Sox are winning. The Cubs lost tonight. Thank you for all the updates. I actually have the Sox game on my phone right now as we're watching this, as we're doing the show, as I normally do, or the playoffs or whatever I had on, or NBA playoffs. I've been watching everything sports related last, like everybody else, every playoff game and everything going on, man. Yeah. I think my heart's still beating from the NBA, from the NBA game last night.
And you know, that's the crazy part about that. Dev was trying to leave. You know, he was at my house last night. We were watching the game. He's like, I'm not going to watch this. And then, sure enough, we stayed till the end. He's like, I'm glad.
Dude,
baby.
dude's doing it all playoffs. You can't do that with the Pacers right now, man. He's been doing it all
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
They were-
saying, oh, it's 15 points. OKC's winning. We're like, nah, watch. They've done it before.
They
They're
were-
coming back.
They were down 15.
I know.
And
I
they
know.
won the game. They have a winning record when down us like 15 plus points for the whole entire season.
Yeah, they
That's
said that
insane.
they're like they are the 1 in 93 of being down with what did they have, like 10 seconds or 7 seconds after they got the turnover. They're the first team to steal a game one with that many seconds left, and being the away team. So like usually the home team finds a way to win every time, and they're the one. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Adam,
And stealing that point is pivotal.
Adam,
So
somebody here.
pivotal.
Brandon the plumber says bottom left, Travis Kelce. That dude, he's saying that you look like Travis Kelce. You got that before?
Yeah. You know what? I actually have my Travis Kelce jersey in my closet because I get that all the time. Today I got Brandon Fisk and some guy from Game of Thrones. I don't watch it, but yeah, I get a lot. But Travis Kelce is probably up there the most.
Yeah, I like that, man. You got to start growing your hair out a little bit more, man. Then you'll really.
Yeah. I had it.
We'll work on that though.
Yeah. We'll get there.
So that's everybody in the chat room. Thank you guys for watching, and you can share this video with your other Bears friends and our YouTube page as well. You can like and subscribe, and show all of our shows here on the Chicago Sports Podcast, talking about winners and losers for the Bears minicamp. We went over all the winners. I'm not going to say necessarily. I guess we call it losers, or I'm going to say something to keep an eye on. And there's two things that I have on my list. The first one's the left tackle position in general. We talked a lot about Ozzy Trapilo. But what about the other guys that are going to be fighting for that position? Braxton Jones and Kiran Amegadjie. Amegadjie, I could possibly see being a guard too. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be a tackle, but with the struggles that he had last year, and maybe, and I think this is all going to be a work in progress. We got to see how healthy Braxton Jones is going to be as well. Is Braxton Jones going to be that position? But Chris, when we look at the left tackle position in general, and listen, as much as we love Ozzy, he's also going to be a rookie. If he does go in that starting position, he could have some struggles at times. We got to keep that in mind too, that when you have a rookie coming into the NFL. But left tackle position I have there is losers or on the question list, man. Is that something you would look at, or is there something that concerns you about that position?
Really just about what are we gonna see from Braxton Jones, and I think I just I went blank when it came to his name, but I really do feel like he's going to be kicked down to probably a guard position for depth. The thing that will be concerned is that when pads get put on and we start getting on that field, how is Trapilo going to look playing that position? And I think that's going to be the deciding factor when it comes to who's going to be starting at that left tackle spot. So I think really, if everyone kind of feels like the sky's the limit, we're not really concerned about where the floor is at this particular point. And because we're seeing what we're seeing from Trapilo right now. So my concern is, are we missing something when it comes to this left tackle spot that can play a major role when the season starts? That's my biggest concern.
That's a good point, Adam. That's a very good point, because that's kind of what I'm looking at too. When you look at the left tackle, is there anything that concerns you? What are your concerns?
I think Ozzy's taking it. Braxton, I mean, even when he was healthy, he wasn't fast enough. He wasn't quick enough. He just let everybody go right past him. And it just seems like he just didn't really care. He kind of just was lazy about it. And yeah, about the other one, I could see him possibly going into a guard spot, or possibly taking that right tackle spot when they put right out for a wide receiver pass. They got that going on. So one-handed catch, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Put him in that spot, put him at tight end, maybe put Darnell right at tight end and him at right guard, just to get him that pass. Because, I mean, obviously they're doing it, so they have something up their sleeve.
And Amegadjie too, fourth round. Again, a higher draft pick, and that's a guy. I mean, if that's a guy that's not going to work out, that's another draft pick, man. That would be failed on that end. And that dude, when we look at that, they break up good points about Braxton Jones. We were talked a lot about Ozzy and Amegadjie. So, what concerns you when you look at the left tackle position, or maybe you don't have any concerns?
No, I want Braxton Jones out of there. I don't think he should. I really think that. Who did you say earlier, Adam, that we should trade? Yeah, I feel that way. I feel like Braxton
Oh,
Jones should get traded.
him.
I think a mid round draft pick sounds great. Thanks, appreciate you. Thanks for your service. Have a good day. You've had opportunities, more than one, and Adam hit it right on the bucket. It's a lack of like it's almost like a lack in effort, right? Like, and you hate to say that when you're playing at a professional level because it's like that's all we need from you is effort. I just feel like Braxton never gives it. No matter what it is, no matter what's going on, it seems like nobody can really light a fire under him. So just let him go. It just seems unnecessary to continue to waste the time and resources on a player that clearly isn't going to pan out, doesn't fit our culture. Okay. I think Amegadjie has opportunity. I think that he is going to be a little bit slow rolling of all the draft picks. I wasn't thrilled with that pick when they made it. He was not really high on my board by any means when I was going into it. But I get the understand. I get the ideology of getting some depth because we are, at any given time we're always one injury away from absolutely dismantling that O line. We know how that's gone for the last couple of years. So like I understood it, just didn't love it. But he does have versatility to be able to play inside and outside, so that's cool. Um, we'll see what he really feels comfortable, looks comfortable in once we get pads on him. But yeah, I just don't believe that there's any way that you get any better return for Braxton Jones than you do right now. He's the healthiest he's been in a while. You gotta just I just don't think he's that guy. So I think you gotta let him go.
Yeah, to what we're talking about earlier too, new coaching staff too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They're trying to see who they want, who they don't want.
right.
I thought at times Braxton Jones actually played okay. There were certain times, but then there were some times I would just shake my head. And I was just like, to what you were saying. At times, I don't know. I want to say effort, but there were times where I thought he just looked lost. So
Yeah.
he's an interesting one to me.
Yeah.
But I think with as much talk as we're having with Ozzy, I think this is the guy they're really really trying to put in that position. So
And but that's why I'm saying like I have concern because like what if pads come on and then we get this feeling that the rookie isn't ready yet? Do we go back to Braxton Jones or do we look at the other guy? And
good
that
question.
right there, it kind of that's why I'm saying it raises concerns. Are we missing something right now because we're so excited about Trapilo? We're not looking at the complete picture just yet about what this young man can be. And I honestly think I'm gonna be positive, but at the same time I'm be cautious because that's that left tackle. That's the quarterback's blind side. So I'm yeah, that's the reason why I said what I said. We haven't seen him with the pads on yet.
And that's the question for any rookie too. Literally, I mean that's a rookie class when you get all the pads on. Which guy's going to shine? Which one's going to be good? Which one's going to struggle a little bit? You just don't know with a rookie class. And I'm hoping that this one pans out though, man, because left tackle is the most important position on that. To what you guys are saying is the most important position on that line. I think we got to solidify that spot. And that's why I have a little concern about going into this year, but we'll just see how it all plays out. We'll see how it all plays out when they get everything together and it gets rolling. And then I got one more name on here is Luther Burden. Is Luther Burden right now because without the contract, so losing the reps. I know the soft tissue issue as well, but you got to get in there, man. Like at some point, and that's a guy that's a guy that I thought coming out of the draft that there was so much praise for. Like this is the guy that can take that slot, like the Amon-Ra St. Brown spot from Detroit that could fit into that Ben Johnson offense. And when you don't have him in there already to learn this complex offensive system, what it is, what you guys can see, it's all attention to detail. I think right now for him to not be out there is a very bad look. I'll start with you, Adam.
Yeah, him not getting reps, and I see him. He's too worried about making his TikToks.
Yeah, he
He's
does like
big on
TikTok.
doing these TikTok dances and doing all this, but you can't be out there doing what you're supposed to be doing. We picked you up for a reason. Now show us why we picked you up. Because if not, what are you here for? I think he needs to get out there. I mean, yeah, you got soft tissue damage, but you're not wearing pads. You're not hitting. Get out there, run some routes, catch some balls. You'll be all right.
Chris, Luther Burden, what do you think?
even if the soft tissue can be a bit of a concern, you're still missing those mental reps. You're still missing that, gelling with the guys that you're in the building with, the coaching staff, seeing what they're desiring out of certain play calls, what certain verbiage is used for like audibles and all this other stuff. You're missing the time you need to gel with your teammates. And I think that's what makes this such a big loss is because the guy's shown his talents when he was at Missouri. And it's like, we want to see it within the offense. But how can, like, this isn't Madden. We can't just sign you and then play you within 10 seconds later. You gotta be doing that work, in the film, in the with the coaches, finding out how this install works, getting this playbook down pack and then rolling. And that takes a lot of time. So him missing all that, you have to make that up somehow, and that's going to take a while, and that's going to eat away at stuff that we should be doing when we get to that point. He's catching up.
Yeah, that's all great points. And to your point too, Chris, I'm a big fan of his too in college, man. I liked watching him play and his speed. That dude, Luther Burden, not on the field. What's your overall thoughts?
I mean, everybody's kind of touched everything that's important. My biggest concern, honestly, is what is this contract dispute over? Why haven't you signed the dotted line? Right? The numbers are non-negotiable. It's literally in the CBA that they can't negotiate the numbers with you because you were in the second round and not in the top 10 pick. So, like, what is the issue? Also, Brandon is right. The other name that I was going to put with him is Colson, right? Like, not getting these early reps, not getting that chemistry, not having the opportunity. I mean, you hope these guys are knee deep in their playbooks. You hope they're attending all the meetings. We don't really know if they are, if they aren't. There's not a lot of talk about that per se, whether those guys are there or not.
Colson's been out a little bit.
So I just think that, uh, you know, I'm not even so much worried about the injury and the soft tissue and all that. I'm more or less concerned at this point at a character standpoint. Is Luther Burden the guy for the culture? You know what I mean? Like, why? Again, like, my questions are like, why have we not signed this contract yet? What is it that you're waiting for? You were all excited to be there. Gave us this whole speech about how every team that passed up on you was going to pay and blah, blah, blah. So what's the issue? You know what I mean? So to me, that's a little bit more of a glaring problem, even above the fact that obviously he's not really out there in OTAs, because I think he comes in a position to where I think he was going to be a package guy to start, because I think Zacchaeus has shown his value. He's a little bit more mature. He's got a couple years under his belt. He's that's probably a name we could have mentioned as a winner as well, because he's had a pretty good mini camp as well. And I just think that Luther was probably going to be a special team starter and would have slow rolled his way into that slot spot. But still, you're just delaying the opportunity to be that guy. I'll even go out on a limb and say that if Luther Burden had been locked in, I probably would have been maybe saying he had a shot at Rookie of the Year over my boy, Kyle. But Kyle came to play, so it is what it is. So.
Adam's shaking his head. He goes, "Yeah, Kyle is going to be rookie." He changes his mind. So, yeah, it's very good points, guys, and it's hopefully this can get done. This can get signed with, and this be over with, and this is not going to be a topic of conversation coming up over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we will hope for that. Winners and losers here, talking about the Bears. Thank you guys for watching here, Chicago Sports Podcast. We got a couple minutes left, and before we go, I kind of teased it at the beginning of the show, guys. And we're going to have a lot of time to talk about. There's going to be more coming up. I know they're going to get together. I know some of the younger players are going to get together again next week. And then, of course, this will all start leading up to the end of July when all the training camps start and stuff. So you guys keep it right here on Bears on Tracks for all updates on the Bears and everything going on with the Bears as we get ready here. It's not going to be that far away, guys, before we're going to start really crank that up and start talking about that. But I teased a little bit earlier in the show about Aaron Rodgers. And I guess I need to bring it up because it happened yesterday, and we're all diehard Bears fans here. We're all diehard Bears fans, and he's beaten us so many years, and we get to see him again this year when they play the Steelers in Chicago. My girlfriend, the diehard Steeler fan from Pittsburgh, we're going to get our tickets for that. We're going to go for that. We're going to go back to Chicago for that. I'm excited to go back home and then she's always wanted to go watch a game there. So we're excited for that, just for that. But I'm excited because I want to see get his ass kicked, and I think that's what we're all looking for. So, Chris, I'll start with you, man. Your overall reaction when you saw Aaron Rodgers get signed to the Steelers?
It really didn't move the needle for me, just because of the fact that when you look at the Steelers and the Jets, they kind of mirrored each other. Just that one had more time with their head coach than the other, and that head coach was the reason why that defense was lights out when he was there. Aaron Rodgers, I think he's past his prime. I don't think he has that it factor, that arm, the timing. I think Father Time has caught up and he got his wrists and he's about to say, "Let's go." I don't see why everyone is so excited about it. I mean, last year we saw Arthur Smith's system without a Derrick Henry and an AJ Brown, and it looked pretty stale for the most part. And then now we're adding an Aaron Rodgers on the back end of his career and a DK Metcalf. I don't see how this is going to be extremely successful for their passing game. It doesn't move me. It doesn't make me feel worried or none of that. We're not facing the same Aaron Rodgers.
All right, that dude. Does he have anything left in the tank?
Enough to get him paid, so that's all that matters.
I think it's like $10 million. I think it's
it's above league minimum. I know that much. So. But now I agree with Chris, man. And realistically, if you've kind of been paying attention to the way that the dominoes fell, it was kind of inevitable that they were holding out for him to just say yes. So it wasn't really all that shocking or surprising. Kind of just I would have probably been more shocked if he told them no. That would have been hilarity in my opinion. Like that would have been
how great would that be?
Spoke and I was like, nah.
About the dark cave.
I'm not too much worried about it either. I think it'll be a fun game. I do think because they always find a way, right? Like they always find a way to be just above 500 just to make it into the playoffs. I wonder if that streak ends. It would suck if it does, because I like their coach. And I think the year that he falls under 500, he will get fired. But yeah, it doesn't matter.
Adam,
I'll leave it to you, man. Do you get it? Did it get you all riled up about him coming back?
No, not at all. Because I mean, if you look at last year, he got his best friend back, and look what they did.
He got his best friends back.
Yeah,
it was the band over there. It was the New York Packers.
Yeah, well, and they didn't do anything. So putting him with DK, I don't think that does anything.
He had Devontae Adams take. Sorry. He had Devontae Adams. He had Devontae Adams take 2 L's to Pittsburgh in the same week.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, it'll be interesting. I brought it up too because that's all I saw people posting about yesterday, and it was a huge talk and everything. And of course, in our house, it's a big talk. And I think I think the Steelers have something like 13 draft picks next year. So if it doesn't work out for them, they got so much going into next year that this is it. So it'll be fun though, man. It'll be fun. Hopefully he is playing when he comes here, when he comes to Chicago in November, and we have something to talk about.
I just hope we don't see you wearing no Aaron Rodgers Pittsburgh Steelers jersey.
No.
We got to make sure we check in. We got to check in with you to make sure that you're still with us.
Drop the Instagram, man. I'm gonna lock you in. Don't worry.
I'm gonna be a traitor, man. Jumping to the other side.
He's got it under his Bears jersey. He's gonna show
it. Love will make you do crazy things. You know what I'm saying?
Him sitting like Indian style, like in a Steelers jersey, man. Like
you probably act like Homer Simpson when he goes back into the bush and pops out something
else. Yeah. Whatever the heck he's on, man. Whatever the heck he's going to be on at that time, man, before. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching tonight here. Bears on Tracks, 5 for Chicago, brought to you by the Chicago Sports Podcast. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page. You guys get all the content that we put out there. We have shows all the time. We'll have shows all weekend long and all shows next week. And to all you guys in the chat, thank you so much for watching tonight. We appreciate it. We can't do any of this. We can't do any of these shows without you. So you guys all the chat. So thank you so much. Thank you to our new guys too. That dude, man, it's great to meet you. Great to have you on the show tonight.
Hey man, it was a pleasure to be here. Really appreciate the opportunities, and can't wait to be back.
Yeah, can't wait to have you back. Same thing with you, Adam, man. It was good to have you on here tonight.
Absolutely.
Travis
I'm
Kelsey,
glad
Adam,
I
whatever they
joined
want to
the
call
board.
you.
Yeah, you call me whatever. I'll put that in my name next. I'll put Adam/Kelsey. I'll throw on my Chiefs jersey every once in a while. Hang it up in the background. We'll be all right.
Yeah,
we'll get it
we'll cut
fixed,
your
man.
feed. We'll cut your feed. Don't worry.
You magically go away, man, in their conversation.
I'll be like Devin, just disappear.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
which-
wrong with my internet tonight. It is not being nice to me, boy. I was like, dang, even my internet don't want Kyle to be rookie of the
You
year.
got that neighbor's hotspot, man. It ain't working right.
Hey, I was really talking about Kyle being rookie of the year, and it was like done. I was like, what?
Banging on your neighbor's door, man. Like, dude, that's what you get for saying rookie of the year.
Oh man, I guess.
Oh man.
Chris, man, great to have you on as always, man. Every Friday night.
Hey man, I love being on here. Talk with you two guys, Adam, Matthew, right? I don't want to mess it up. But it's great talking to you guys, man. It's fun. I love it every time. I can't wait to talk to you guys a lot more, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to have you guys back on, man. So, thank you guys, and we'll do it again here soon. To everybody else, thank you for watching tonight, the Chicago Sports Podcast. It's Bears on Tracks, 5 for Chicago, brought to you by the Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm Matt Cooper, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend.